The United States and China have just agreed to a 90-day pause in tariffs while they work on a long-term trade deal. This is absolutely huge, especially for small businesses, because now their imports and exports are not going to be taxed at the insane rates that they were before. Right now, they have agreed to a 90-day pause, and the U.S. will lower its tariffs on China to 30%, and China will lower the tariffs on the United States to 10%. Now, this is down from the 145% tariff that Donald Trump had on China, now down to 30%, and China will lower its 125% tariff down to 10% for us. The Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said that China has ignored their trade commitments under Joe Biden because they knew he was weak.
The Chinese delegation basically told us that once President Biden came into office, they just ignored their obligations.
Now, this is obviously great news for everyone, especially small businesses. However, if you go look in some comments, people are still very upset, saying, of course, Donald Trump will take credit. And of course, because on Friday, he said it's a great time to buy stocks. I cannot stand Donald Trump. So it doesn't seem like people can be pleased one way or the other. So I ask you guys, are you happy for this news? The United States and China have just agreed to a...
Trump's new deal with China is even better than everyone had anticipated, and it's causing markets around the world.
I mean, they have very few restrictions, and they didn't open their country to us. Never made sense to me. It's not fair. And they've agreed to open China, fully open China. And I think it's going to be fantastic for China. I think it's going to be fantastic for us. And I think it's going to be great for unification and peace. China will also suspend and remove all of its non-monetary barriers. They've agreed to do that. Well, they're very numerous. But again, to me, the biggest thing that came out of that meeting is they've agreed. Now we have to get it papered, but they've agreed to open up China. It's going to be great for everybody. I mean, they have very few restrictions, and they didn't open their country to us. Never made sense to me. It's not fair. And they've agreed to open China.
Donald Trump's trade war officially failed. Chinese government media also released the news that the tariff dropped back to the normal before the trade war. And this whole shit show just temporarily passed. For the next 90 days, they will keep talking about it. And Donald Trump and his billionaire team, they made a lot of money from the market up and down. And you and me, the normal people, we just watched the whole shit show. I don't want to talk about this stupid tariff thing anymore. Just like, fuck off.
With China, just to cause all these issues, cause major panic in small businesses, some of which actually still can't even order the things that they need for the summertime, because by the time they get it, it's going to be too late, meaning we're hurting small businesses. We did all of that just to get back to a 10% tariff. I can tell you a lot of small businesses are going to be waking up this morning banging their heads against the wall saying, I missed out on all my summer money because of this tariff war, which ultimately got us back to a flat line 10%, pretty much the same thing that every other country is going to have. And yet small businesses did unfortunately hurt. And I know this because I've interviewed many of them, in which they were ordering things for the summer and they had to either cancel those orders or were getting ready to order things for the fall and only had another week window before that would have been canceled too. But yes, we're back to just a 10% across the board, and that's at least for the next 90 days. I'm assuming so they can negotiate, but I'm sure that the 90 days is just going to stick to a 10% across the board in the future. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. Please share my videos and follow me for more. To answer your question,
we have major breaking news right now. China and the United States have agreed on a 90-day tariffs pause, essentially slashing tariffs significantly for a period of 3 months. This is a major deal. China will slash tariffs from 125% to just 10% on American exports. The United States will slash tariffs from 145% to about 30%. Now, we're not out of the woods yet. This is just a 90-day temporary pause while the two sides negotiate a broader tariffs trade deal. And 30% is still not a small tariff. I mean, things will still go up in price, just not as much as before, because 145% was just completely unreasonable. But this is where we're at right now. The stock market is expected to soar today. I'm digging into the details right now. It's really early and I just woke up, but I wanted to make sure you all had the news, so sorry for my bedhead. But I'll have a full breakdown on my Substack shortly, linked to my bio, so subscribe for free, spread the word, and follow along for all the updates. There'll be much more to come today, I'm sure.
Sunday night, and here's what's happening. The United States is running into a big problem when it comes to Canada, and that problem is travel.
Breaking news at this time, as we now know what the trade deal is between the United States and China, and it's mostly a 90-day pause on certain tariffs. This statement was just uploaded to the White House. Breaking news at this time, as we now know what the trade deal is between the United States and China, and it's mostly a 90-day pause on certain tariffs. This statement was just uploaded to the White House about 10 minutes ago. This was just before 4 a.m. And down here's the nitty-gritty of everything. But in short, the United States and China agreed to temporarily ease certain trade tariffs for 90 days. Here you can see the thing about the 90 days. It also says the U.S. will suspend 24 percentage points of its additional tariffs on Chinese goods, including things from Hong Kong, retaining a 10% rate, and will remove tariffs introduced in the recent executive orders, so dropping things down to 10%. Then it says that China will also modify its own thing, pretty much mirroring the United States. AKA, China will suspend 24 percentage points of its tariffs on U.S. goods, also retaining a 10% rate, and will remove tariffs and non-tariff countermeasures introduced in early April 2025. Now remember, the United States still has other tariffs on them, so realistically speaking, this is now, I guess, a 10% tariff from China and a 30% tariff from the United States. Let me know what you think about this in the comments.